And we're back with another podcast. I'm Seth, and this is No Sugar, No Cream podcast. And we are live on Facebook and YouTube and I think Instagram.
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
There we are. Now we are.
Now we're live on Instagram. Hello, Instagram. We are back. As you can see, I am definitely not on a cruise ship. Yes, sir. Let me center Tim a little bit here. Tim!
Yes!
I'm back!
Good to see you! Yes! Woo!
I'm not floating along, you know. I'm stationary and not awkwardly.
Let's be tighter here. What is this lying in the middle of the table?
That is my phone case, sir. And it was fine where it was. I'm just kidding. As there was a pile of things on the table just 2 minutes ago. But,
don't call me out.
My little phone case.
Yeah, but I cleaned it up for the podcast.
Oh man, it's good to be back, and for No Sugar, No Cream. I forgot to make myself some coffee, so I am munching on the energy drink. And
yeah, we kind of forgot how to do this.
Yeah,
this
been
way,
too long.
You know,
it's been too long.
You know,
I'm used to just going to the top deck of the cruise ship and pour myself a cup of coffee, and just coming back to the room and doing the podcast. And it worked really well. We had a good time. I haven't watched too much of the podcast, but I think it went over all right.
Yeah, we didn't have any real technical issues.
No, it was fairly smooth.
The Wi-Fi was pretty strong on the ship, even when you're in the middle of the ocean, right? I mean,
we had the most expensive internet. Shout out to Elon Musk, killing it with Starlink. Yeah, buddy, making those things even smaller. In fact, I just saw that there was a guy that was testing out his. He took his Starlink along with him, and he was testing the speed of the internet on the ship compared to his Starlink, and he had a balcony, and he was able to, I guess the satellites were faced out his window because he was able to get a satellite. And
wait a minute, so you weren't using Starlink? You weren't using Starlink?
You were
using the ship.
The cruise now has Starlink, uses Starlink. In fact, they're saving.
It's the only one that they use?
I think they have, at least in the last year, they have been slowly, it's a process, is what I've understood. I asked about it, and it takes a while to move it all over to Starlink because so much stuff has been going on the previous internet. So by now, it's probably completely on Starlink now. Other than maybe there's some things that were still tied to the old internet, but they went from spending to saving several $1 million a month, probably a month, but definitely a year. They're saving millions a year with how much cheaper Starlink is.
Have they passed that savings on to the customer?
Not that I know of yet. You definitely get some of those speeds, but they have been eating more profit, so it helps their profit margin some because they've struggled ever since COVID. But I think that possibly they I made a mistake and slightly put it on the table for a second. Tim is very good.
This is an antique table,
and there is no circles on this table. You look at your face like. That's not there. You can't see that on the camera. That's not there. No,
I'm just trying to prevent from any additional ones.
Of course, no.
Trying to prevent any new ones from showing up.
Of course.
Just because there might have been the last person who visited me didn't use that.
No. I will be looking at every corner of this table as soon as Tim walks up the room. Stay tuned for that later on the podcast. Cuts to the club and music. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so anyways, he tested it and they quickly put in their bylaws that you're not allowed to bring on your own Starlink, and they took it from him on the ship. They changed.
So how does it? I don't understand.
They took the Starlink from him. He brought his own Starlink on the ship.
His receiver. You're saying a receiver.
Yeah, the receiver, Starlink receiver, and and they took that from him. We got the new ones are like that, I think. They're like super small, and they took that from him and changed the rules or whatever. For whatever reason, they want people. But he had spit money though on too. But then I guess too they don't want other people. He's posting online, and other people will start bringing theirs on maybe or whatever. But yeah, that was funny that he was using his own internet on the ship. But yeah, you post it online, they're gonna find out, and if they don't want you doing it, they'll remove it. What you have back in the States, I guess, there's more laws like there was a hotel that was blocking people from using other internet if they wanted to bring their own internet and use it. You got all these different like T-Mobile and stuff has those wireless internets that a lot of times will have better speeds. Or well, goodness, the nice hotel I stayed at in Seattle before the game, they were going to charge me $10 a day just to use the internet. I just used my cell phone. It was just stupid. It was like the more you spend for a hotel, the more they will charge
more fees. Yeah,
the more fees there are.
I figured out. I thought you had to pay for a hotspot subscription. I thought that you had to pay for that, but I was clicking on my iPhone, and there's an option to. Or let's see, I was trying to get on the internet, and I was at a place where I go to Waffle House a lot, and Waffle House doesn't have internet, but there are other convenience stores. There's fast food joints within, a quarter of a mile. There's a Burger King right across the parking lot, and across the road is a McDonald's. And you can often, and they don't have passwords, so you can often get on there, but sometimes you can't. I don't know if maybe the air, if there's humidity or whatever, you can't get on there. And I was circling, trying to, look for a network I could get on because I wanted to be on my computer. And one of the options was use your iPhone. I'm like, I thought you had to pay for that, but no, you don't. Or whatever service I have a hotspot. I can use my phone as a hotspot.
Right. I think AT&T automatically just comes with a little bit, and then it was so much, and then it will probably slow it down afterwards.
Oh, really?
So as far as using your laptop, you're probably golden. You probably could do it the whole month. Now, if you start playing a lot of videos, with the standard, the simple plan, I think it's not a lot. You probably can only watch a few movies, and then it will slow down really badly where you can't even watch videos. But you still should be able to surf the internet.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. When I'm on my laptop, I'm checking emails and I'm uploading. Checking my social medias and responding to social media comments and stuff like that, and maybe updating spreadsheets of metrics, and that's very low usage compared to streaming a movie or playing a video game.
Yeah, we used to have. I had enough memory or enough. I had more cell phones on my plan at one point, and we had a package where it was like basically. Our hotspots were pretty nice, and you could, for most of the month, I was able to use my iPad as my cell phone as a hotspot and run all the videos I wanted to off of my through my iPad, which that saved me like $30 a month because my iPad usually I would spend like $30 a month on that for cellular, get unlimited cellular, but because of the hotspot, I could just easily use it that way. But so that can be that is going to be a hotspot thing. But that was kind of like we got a discount on it because I think I had like 7 lines at one point. But it's just down to Nathan, Dale, and I on there. So which our plan is only like $50 each, but we don't have like a really good like hotspot thing, which I don't use it too much. If I was doing Uber or DoorDash a lot more, I might try to upgrade it or have cellular because I love being able to have the iPad there and I'm not watching it while I'm driving it, but I like it just playing the podcast and stuff too. And then when I have a break in between picking something up, I watch some videos just right on I kind of have the whole Tesla thing going with my screen right there. It's convenient. Speaking of Tesla, did you see? Were you going to say something? Was that where you?
No, go ahead. Tesla-related thing will come to mind later.
Okay. Yeah. they just had the big rollout for a new. They had at Paramount Studios. They had a big. What do you call it? Like a big announcement thing. But they came out with. They showed them the
unveiling.
Yes, an unveiling. There's another word for it, but I can't think of it right now. But anyways, they showed it was at Paramount Studios, and they literally
Premiere.
Yes, yeah. Premiere's a good one because it was at Paramount Studios, and they utilized the whole studios where you got to be in the new what they call Robo Taxi. No steering wheel, nothing. It should come out in the next couple of years for under $30,000. You can buy it, and it will just take you wherever you go. And when you're not using it, you can make money off of it with Uber or whatever. Or they might just have their own company that they might use or whatever.
Yeah, it's like jobs that are going to be phased out are taxi drivers.
Oh yeah, I think over the next 20 years that should be completely.
Truck drivers even.
Truck drivers. And I think, for the most part, you still need somebody like in there to look over, but that would probably quickly switch to somebody monitoring it remotely or whatever. And then also at this event, maybe it was called an event, they had the robots, and they were before they had somebody just like in a suit just to give you an idea what it looked like, but they were complete robots moving around. Now it seemed like some of them were probably remote controlled and somebody talking through them, but they were completely robotic movements. It's just amazing movements. All the movements of humans and plus more. I mean, probably not all the movements, but they look so human.
Well, that's been coming for a long time.
It has, and for him to announce that like a couple of years ago and see how far it's already gotten, it's crazy. And they want the price of those between $20,000 and $30,000, and I mean to be able to do everything, a lot of stuff for you. If not, just be your friend. But they had to make drinks and everything. It was crazy. Now that's not all AI doing that. It's not like or programmed just to do that at this point. But that just comes with that AI, which is advancing like crazy.
Yes, it is AI.
And they can incorporate that.
Yes. Well, something that's a repetitive task, like even nobody, it's hard to get people to work in a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
the wage is going up like crazy too.
You can get a robot in there, and it doesn't have to be a very intelligent robot. I mean, if you just want a robot to do fries, for example, it's just a movement, drop in the bucket, and then count. Mm-hmm. There'll be a timer, lift up. It's not that hard. Or flipping burgers. All of that can be automated.
And it's already, I know there's even a Taco Bell that opened up. But when you go to McDonald's, you can just order all your food just right on that. There's no need for a person to take your order. And which is convenient too, because the person that's messing up, when you put it in your order, the person that's messing up that is you. And it's all simple. You just push it. Communicating one person to another, there's always going to be an easy mess up from you not hearing me correctly to you typing in. But here I am. I'm typing it in. Simply, just a touch screen. Anybody can do that. I mean, unless you don't.
Well, and it's needed because, since COVID came along, and then everybody had a reset. Am I really doing what I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And since then, it's been impossible for food service restaurants to find enough workers.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work. Well, replace it with robots.
Yeah, I'm Chili's for
automation. Robot is a term, a specific term, but it doesn't have to be a Android-looking robot. It can be just a machine with a hydraulic piston on it that has a couple of degrees of freedom. Go like this and then turn and maybe swivel, and it doesn't even look like a human being. It's just an arm. That's automation can be that. It doesn't have to be a sophisticated robot with. You know how sophisticated the shoulder is in the human shoulder. All the movements you can do with the human shoulder. That's a difficult joint to reproduce. You don't have to be that sophisticated to do some of these tasks.
Yeah.
You just have to have it be able to duplicate, can a slide go forward? Can it go this way? Anyway, well, there was an article that I was reading yesterday about Tesla. What's going on?
Oh no, we're good. I was just checking.
Tesla was. We didn't check. I didn't bring my computer and check. I hope people can hear us. I hope this is not a silent podcast.
Oh, I can pull it up and just interrupt for a second. But yeah, keep going. Sorry.
And so this woman had a Tesla, or not even Tesla, any other brand, Mercedes. Actually, she had a Mercedes, and it had a smart screen on it. And her husband's name was on the title, and they had an acrimonious separation, and they were going through a divorce, and he started doing things like controlling the car. He knew where she was, and if she was visiting, if she was on a date, he would know where she was, and he would stalk her. And when it was hot, he would turn on the heater in the car remotely before she got in it. If it was cold, you turn on the air conditioner, just taunting her, play loud, horrible music that she hated, like scream, just torturing her. She was on a date. There we go. Okay. Know where she was.
Oh, you look like you're frozen.
Stalk her, and when it was hot, he would turn on the heater in the car remotely. If it was cold, you turn on. Am I frozen on there? Just taunting her, play loud.
Oh crap! You are. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Well, let me go check it.
That's it. I mean, we're not too far. Let's just start over. Oh, there. One person watching. Oh goodness. Holy crap.
No, well, I don't think we should start over.
In.
Yeah, we've been going for a while.
Now you're gone. Maybe it's working now. Yeah, we can just keep up where we're going. Guys, sorry for the little hiccup there. Just push the forward buttons a couple times. Well, and here I am. But Tim got stuck there. I don't know how long he was stuck for, but frozen. Hopefully
that's showing up there. I can see the screen over there. So
I mean, if you don't like it, you have permission to just take this down. This might be taken down. Who knows? This might
delete later.
Might delete later.
Felt cute. Might delete later.
You ever see that so many times? Somebody will post something.
A woman will post usually. Felt cute. Might delete later.
Oh, might cute. Oh, I missed the.
Felt cute. Might
delete
later.
Well, yeah, a lot of those will post stuff. But anyways, we're talking about.
So this woman, she was being taunted by her. She had a very acrimonious separation and divorce proceeding with her husband, and she tried to. There were a couple of different cases. One of them was a Tesla, one of them was a Mercedes. And she tried to get him removed from it, but Mercedes says we can't do anything because he's on the title, so we can't remove it. So she went to a auto body shop, non-Mercedes auto body shop, and said, you need to disable this GPS. And so that means the tracking was disabled, the GPS was disabled, and all of the smart features. She no longer had navigation. She no longer had emergency call, with what you can do with those. And she said, that's fine. I just want him so he can't track me. And so she gave up, had kind of probably destroyed the machine. I don't know if it was reversible, what they did. Mm-hmm. And then in the article was a comment that said her husband, this was a few years ago, and then her husband committed suicide. So that's very sad. But he was obviously very troubled. But the problem was she had a restraining order against him, but that didn't help. And so the tracking, the ability of these smart computers in these cars, who has capability of controlling them, is a new issue. It's a couple, both couples should have access to that. Both of the couple, both pairs, both of the individuals in the coupledom, in the pair.
The coupledom. Yes, the coupledom. Coupledom.
So
are we a coupledom?
With new technology, there's new things to worry about and to figure out how you're going to resolve these issues.
I think, Elon Musk always says, hopefully jokingly, that there's only a 20% chance that they're going to revolt against us and kill us all.
Yeah, it's not zero.
Exactly.
It's not zero.
It's not zero. It's not zero. I mean, we see all these movies and stuff, but
The Matrix is about that, where the machines took over,
Mm-hmm.
and human beings were used only as fuel cells.
Well, too, I know of like, I probably could Google and find it, but I know of like 2 robots, like if they were just machines or whatever, but the robots, and they were communicating together, and they just ended up creating their own dialogue where like the person that created them didn't even know what they were saying because they created their own language between each other.
Yeah, it was very primitive though.
Very primitive, yeah.
Yeah, I read the article on that. It sounds a lot more scary than it was.
But it's something. Though.
It is something.
It's something.
Yeah, it was extremely primitive, but yeah, they went off script basically.
Is it true? I feel like maybe you would know if this is true or not, but I've read or whatever, or heard somewhere that like there was a robot that got tired of doing the same task over and over, and like possibly like try to injure itself or turn itself off somehow or something. Does that sound familiar?
Really, I hadn't heard.
I don't know. I can't back that up, but it sounds like it's something that I've heard before. But I mean, as AI, I mean, I would see that's plausible with if something's become self-aware, to where it is truly AI. I mean, it's so funny how we loosely throw around AI because at this point, nothing really is technically AI, artificial intelligence. We just have this insane computing power of self-learning. Is that artificial intelligence? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's there yet because it doesn't have a personality, which that's without. Oh my gosh, we could.
Well, it's regurgitating.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's regurgitating.
This is
like when
information.
Songs. I mean, AI has created songs. Well, it has been fed like thousands of songs, and it's learned patterns from already made songs, and it's just regurgitating some of the patterns it learned. Like chess. One of the first examples, whether that was AI or just computer programming, there was a grandmaster who was the champion of the world in chess. This was like 20 years ago. And it wasn't, I guess, AI. It was just programming. And he was a Russian guy. And a machine had never beaten.
You can put your hand up. I'll make sure the video is okay.
It's working. It's working.
I was just seeing.
Hello.
Just making sure Tim's not stiff again. Go move. They went upstairs.
So the machine, the computer, was able, because there's only a move. It's a very finite thing, right?
Yeah.
The pieces can only do certain things.
Right. You can program all that.
You can program all that.
I feel like that's one of the first things I feel like they do as far as.
And finally, the machine beat a grandmaster, but he was so he quit. He retired from.
Yeah, exhausted from.
Because he got beat by a machine, and now it's accepted that if you turn the machine on or don't give it any limiting power, if you don't limit its power, you'll never beat the machine. That's an example of where the machine everyone just accepts that. But because this was an example given to me when people were talking about music. We are songwriters and musicians, because not only can it write songs, AI can also sing the songs. You can program them. And reproduce the guitar sounds electronically in the piano, etc. So the presentation that I heard was saying that yes, there'll be a time when AI will write better songs than any humans can. He said this. So when it comes to AI, there are 2 types of futurists. There are optimists and pessimists. There are, and whether which side you're on. There are those, now is that an optimist or a pessimist, who says that AI will never get that good. And then there's another side that says, yes, they'll be able to do anything we can do better. So there are a division of what people think are going to happen. There are people that think that AI will never completely replace. They'll only be regurgitating what humans do. They'll never originate. There are people who think that. There are people who think that AI will once be much more intelligent than we are. So it's unknown at this point in time. That's why Elon Musk says it's a 20% chance, right? Anyway, so the example given in this case relates to chess. So should we give up as songwriters and musicians? And he said, absolutely not. Because now everybody knows that machines can beat any chess player in the world, anyone. But chess and attendance at chess tournaments has never been the interest has never been as high as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Even though people know that a machine would beat this person. People want reality. People want humanity. And the more machine there is, the more demand there is going to be for humanity. Live concerts. A human being standing up in front of you, singing undeniably where he's singing, and it's not like Frankie Valli, who's 90 some years old and just barely moves his lips remotely close to. Have you seen some of his videos?
Yes, I was going to show I was going to show that to somebody. That is just so creepy. Like, he's worse than Biden by far, which is saying a lot. Like, it's kind of creepy. He almost looks electronic.
He doesn't. They say he never blinks.
Like, he possibly could be dead, and they just put that could be a robot. After I've seen, I got to show you these robots. Oh my goodness, that is scary to me. You say the name of the person again?
Frankie Valli.
Yeah, look up Frankie Valli video, and oh my gosh,
he doesn't blink.
Oh my goodness, see.
But when he talks between songs, he sounds very cogent. Very,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's videos of him talking and joking with the crowd and making jokes.
Goodness.
And he sounds very, with it and knowing what he's doing. And I mean, those notes that he hit back in the day, he can't hit those when he's in his 90s. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Sherry,
the crazy part is that his lips just aren't.
He's not even trying.
Just open his mouth.
He's not even trying.
Now here's the robot. Oh, let's play commercial first. So. Yeah, there's no.
He's not even trying to.
It's creepy from what I've seen.
Music was amazing, though.
So, all right, March.
Well, nobody's going to be able to see that.
No, I'm just kind of getting your reaction. I'm just showing Tim real quick. This is I haven't seen this, but it gives you kind of a close up of what the robot looks like. But I was really wondering.
This is Elon Musk's robot.
Yeah, but it's completely. I mean, you can see that that's not a person; it's a robot. And I mean,
Optimus Gen 2.
All the fingers were moving and everything. It was making drinks. It was crazy. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that crazy? Oh my gosh, just the movement is insane. The way it walks, I mean, it's crazy how far they've come in a short amount of time. Like, I feel like, but isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, they've been working on it for a long, long time.
Yeah. But I feel like though there's other. I mean, they have a crazy amount of money for one thing, and that helps. But I feel like there's colleges and stuff. There's programs and that have been working on that kind of stuff for a while now, and they just seem like they were able to do it so much quicker than those dogs and stuff. Like the dog, that person that was walking around carrying the stuff. I feel like that's been plateaued for the last 10 years. Like, see the same clips of the robot moving around, and they're pushing it over and stuff, and trying to push it over, and it recorrects and all that. But they don't even have those, even people talking through them or anything. Like. But and then they're jumping on the boxes and stuff, and that's gotten further. But like, this just seems like it's like just in a few years. I mean, I felt like he announced this just 2 years ago, or less, that they were working on this. But it's exciting to see what happens. Hopefully, it's not an iRobot situation with Will Smith, where the robots go crazy. But in fact, they called it something. They called it, was it My Robot or something, or Our Robot? They changed the I out with something else and made reference to the movie. Elon Musk definitely does love pop culture and movies and everything, and like it cracks me up how they make reference to those things. And then he said something that I love during his speech. I saw some of it. He said things of the future should look like they're of the future. And it's like, and looking at the way vehicles have for the last 50 years and not changing too much, what he's done, hate it or love it, the Cybertruck looks so cool. They also came out with like a 20 passenger van that's completely automated, and you could fit like 20 people in it, and then, or you could take the chairs out and put packages in it or whatever you want in it, and that thing will just go wherever you need to and probably work like Uber or whatever. Or you just
Now, where are the states? It's going to be a state by state thing. Where are the states' laws on allowing autonomous driverless vehicles?
that will be interesting. I mean,
Because there have been some accidents, and there may have been a death or two, and you get one of those, and then all the people who are skeptical are going to scream and say you need to retract the licensing for this.
the crazy part is it's going to get to the point where people won't be allowed to drive because
The machines
the robots will be able to drive vehicles much higher and
faster response rate.
Mm-hmm.
And like for trucking,
so funny.
I mean, talk about trucking,
Which is a high need today with all,
yes,
we're buying so much online and everything. Like,
and so the truckers are only allowed to, 8 hours you have to rest. And it used to be the truckers would have 2 logbooks, it was all by paper. And so they would double up and do logbook A for the first 8 hours and switch over to logbook B and, do those hours. But now everything is GPS and everybody knows where the truck is at all times. Mm-hmm. And so what some people do is like a husband and wife team or 2 people, it doesn't have to be romantic related, will team drive a truck and one sleeps while the other drives in the cab. But still, you're they got to take. And I was talking to who was I talking to? Somebody trying to remember who it was, but it's not important. He was talking about somebody in my church. He was talking about he's involved with the trucking. He runs a whole crew of trucks, and he said in order for them to make the timetables, they can't stop for a pee break. They literally have something that they can pee that is attached to their organ.
That's fucked up.
No, it's true. And they will pee into a. This is a no swearing channel.
I know. I apologize.
We apologize. That is not allowed. Our terms and conditions do not allow that.
I've lost all the revenue for this podcast myself.
Anyhow, but it's true, and it's because. And I said, well, why can't they just go in a truck stop and take a pee break? And he said, you don't understand how long that takes. They got to get off the interstate. They got to drive into Love's or whatever it is, find a parking spot, get out of the truck, walk in. It'll take 20, 25 minutes off of their truck.
You miss the thing and you're just peeing everywhere.
Well, I think it's
could be quite
attached it's attached.
Oh, ouch. Ouch. Ow.
Maybe like a condom or something. I don't know. With a tube at the end of it.
Ouch.
I'm not sure, but he says that's very common. They pee in the truck while they're driving.
What fun.
And they do that to make timetables. Well, obviously, robots don't need to pee, right? And they don't need to sleep.
Just a little oil spillage.
He says, I thought he was kidding. I said, that can't be a real thing. He said, absolutely. For them to make the timetables, those trucks are expensive. And every hour or minute that those trucks aren't working is lost wages. And he said they would track, he would be in the office, and they would know exactly where their trucker was. And he told me a story about one guy who always seemed to stop at the same truck stop, and he'd spend some time there, like an hour there, and he was always delayed. And he was, other than that, he was a really good driver. And they pinned the guy down. Why do you always stop there? And he said, the restaurant in that truck stop has the best hash browns I've ever had, or whatever it was. Grits, maybe it was grits, some food item that he would drive there just so he could have that food item. And he would pull in. Well, robots don't need that. Robots don't think like that unless they try to shut themselves off because they're tired. I don't know if that's true. Can that be? Once you write in the code, of course, if they're self-learning, they can write their own code.
They felt like it was repetitive, or well, it should feel for one thing. So I don't know if that's at all true whatsoever, But I mean, with the robots, like you talk about, the robots communicating between each other and nobody knew what they were saying. But you said that was fairly simple, or it's not. It wasn't a very complicated situation, but definitely gives you an idea of just that robots would be able to communicate, and we wouldn't know what they're saying, and then what they make decisions outside of code, and they're learning. So if they're learning, can they learn bad stuff? Do they learn only good stuff? I mean, I think that all depends on the programmer too. So as long as there's bad people in the world, there could possibly be some bad robots out there, oh, hey, can you commit this card for me? But hopefully, we put in there should be in this code. So unless, you got all these hackers nowadays too that can do crazy stuff. But I would say in the code, yes, it shouldn't be able to hurt people, And what was it in iRobot with Will Smith that they said that we cannot hurt humans, You're not allowed to hurt humans. And I think it came down to a situation where somebody tampered with the code or something. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen that movie, but that was a good movie. Good old Will Smith. He wasn't slapping anybody in that movie.
That's the first thing I thought of. You said Will Smith. I mean, that's going to be his legacy. That's going to be the first line of his obituary. Will Smith, the slapper.
Slap the Rock.
Slap Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. He's not going to slap the Rock.
Yeah, that's going to be the number one thing mentioned about him when he dies.
Isn't that suck? But I mean,
maybe not the official obituary, but beloved father, beloved husband, all that stuff, normal stuff. But the number one thing, the TMZ version of his obit, will be the guy who slapped
TMZ. Yeah. How are we doing on time? Oh my gosh. Oh, we're doing pretty good. About 37 minutes. But
we can start
wrapping her up.
Thank you so much for joining us. And,
yes.
And we're going to be back now. We're going to be doing these from my studio on Tuesdays. Now we were trying to remember if we did them at 4 or 5. I thought we used to do them at 5, but Seth wanted to do it at 4.
I was just ready to do it. I mean, we were talking and conversating.
So we should have a preset time for those who want to join us live, Seth. We need to have it set.
I refuse to do that. So you can see that there's the sugar part and then there's the cream. What do you want? You want the sugar? Oh wait, there's neither of those things. No sugar. What do you want? No sugar or no cream? Make your decisions now. Any comments? No cream, please.
Yeah,
so
we're
happy to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you back. So we will be doing this every Tuesday until
unless we're at a Celtics game or something.
True that. But we should actually start posting. If we change the schedule, I should start doing that. This week's podcast will be
Monsters Energy, not sponsor. Guys, we love you. We'll see you next time. We see you this time too, and we appreciate you. But we'll also see you next time. Oh, that's funny. My hand can go into your camera on accident. What did I do? How did I go there? Oh, there. Tim's gone. Oh no. Tim's gonna shut her down. So just